What's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing well. So today we're going to talk about a play that allowed us to get a 75% gain, which was a ADA swing in sympathy to Bitcoin. So let's explain it. So for some background information, the ADA is an altcoin that is one of the main competitors to Ethereum's network, and it ran up massively in February to around 1.2-ish. And this was mostly due to sympathy action to Bitcoin, which exploded to around 58K for its all-time high. So afterwards, Bitcoin became very overheated and people took a lot of profit between the 56 to 58K region. And since Bitcoin is seen as one of the leaders or the leader in crypto, altcoins like ADA tend to follow it. So ADA sold off after. So it went from 1.2 to big dumpster here to around 0.9, 0.85. So since we're in an overall bull cycle to August to November-ish, a good play would be to swoop up the dip on this and then to go long. However, the question becomes, when do we go long? So since Bitcoin's the leader, we check when Bitcoin bottoms out, and when Bitcoin bottoms out starts uptrending again, that's when we also swoop up some ADA too. So we go into charts. Eventually we see that it forms a little double bottom around 45K. So that's February 23rd. That's around the time we also swooped up ADA. So February 23rd around 19 time. So ADA kind of mimicked Bitcoin's action too, formed a little mini double bottom here with a higher support here. So for us, we swooped in around 0.92 at the first green candle. So we'll draw that in around like right here. So that was our first entry, and then we kept it going. So these swings are very great and they're very reliable swings in bull markets, as Bitcoin tends to run up for 4 to 6 weeks and then it cools off for 2 to 4 weeks. So a great play you could do is you just go long after these big dips and then you let it run for a few weeks, or you take profits at any abnormal gap ups, which we did today. So after this, we let it run from 0.92 all the way up, goes to 1.14. So we could take profit. However, there's a lot more room for ADA to run, as each consecutive medium bull cycle tends to have it going higher and higher, so it will most likely go beyond 1.2. However, we see a random sell-off for some reason, and that's due to Bitcoin also selling off and creating a lower low around 43, 44K-ish. However, some interesting things happen, right? So as it continues selling off, Cardano receives bullish news for its software upgrades and future collaborations, which causes it to recover quickly. So this random catalyst event is where we can take an initial entry to around 1.05, and then we ride the wave for the rest of it. So the interesting thing is that while ADA recovered due to its bullish catalyst, other crypto assets didn't recover as much. So you saw Aave was around 340, 350 after going and bottoming out around 300, while ADA was around 0.85 and then it jumped up to 1.2. So this is where we take advantage of these abnormal gap ups. So when these abnormal gap ups happen, we tend to take profit in these and then reallocate them into lagging assets that didn't explode yet. So this way you can continuously take profit and reallocate them into the laggers, which have a lot more reward potential to boom. So we have an initial entry around 0.92, another entry around 1.05, so around 0.97 average, and then we ride the wave to see how far it goes. So we keep playing. We set a notification whenever the candle turns red. Keep playing. So when the candle turns red, that indicates bearish momentum, in which case we could take our profits and scale out and then let the rest run. So this candle happened, the red candle indicates bearish momentum. So you could take 1/3 to 1/4 profits. You can also take another 1/4 profit around 1.1 if you want to be safe too. Then next candle you can take off another profit if you want it to be safe. So in this case, since it was an overall bearish market, I wanted to play it safe, and I took most of the profits at the second red candle. However, if you want to be more risky, you could have kept 1/3 to 1/4 of your position and let the rest run, in which case you would have been rewarded with an additional run to 1.4 to 1.5. So since we're using Kraken, we had 3 times leverage initially. That was a 25% move from 0.957 average to around 1.245. So that allowed us to net a 75% run. And after we took profits in ADA, we reallocated it back into AVE, which was around 330, 350 at the time. So AVE has a lot more room to run, since you can see at its previous all-time high, it was around 580. So that's a big move. That's at least like 50 to 60% up. So this is the key to getting major profits and being consistently profitable in crypto and trading in general. So 3 keys that made this play successful is to lock in profits at abnormal gap ups. So it could be very tempting to get greedy and not lock in your profits whenever something explosively recovers. However, if we didn't take profit, it would have eventually sold off, as the medium market was bear overall, and we wouldn't have been able to snag an AVE deal around 350. And the second key would be to buy assets when they are boring and when people have forgotten about them. So as assets get hyped up, and you can see that YouTubers pump up these different assets, that means that it's usually too late to get into them, and that it'd be better to wait until the dump to get into them. So when different assets aren't talked about and they seem kind of boring, where you've forgotten about them, they got beaten down a lot, those are usually the best times to get in. So try to do the opposite of what the masses tend to do. If they're YouTube videos and people tend to pump up these different assets, that usually means it's time to lock in profits after the hype dies down. And the last key would be to pay attention to the leaders in the market. So for example, ADA, Ethereum follows Bitcoin, and other coins such as KNC, Mana tend to follow Ethereum and ADA after. So if you're very savvy with it, you can play Bitcoin first, maybe trade horizontally, and you reallocate into ADA, Ethereum, Chainlink, DOT, those explode, and then once they start dying off, you can reallocate into the meme coins like Doge, Mana, and other ones that have less attention, as people tend to want to get into coins that haven't run up yet. So if you apply the strategy of getting to assets when they're beaten down, no one's talking about them, they're boring, wait for them to gap up, you take profits, then you reallocate them to other coins that haven't run up yet, you can make a lot of gains in this market. So hope it helps, and talk to y'all next time.